Hello, I'm Daisy Mack, and this is Spiritual Mixtape. Today, I just have a very small and compact episode, but full of juicy information. This is why we should all date our future self. So, I have two lovely friends. One is called Chellie, and one is called Monique. And Monique said to me the other day, I went on a future date with myself. She's out in Paris and she went shopping. And she bought herself something a little bit more expensive than she felt she should spend in that moment. And she went and wrote. And she pursued one of her creative projects. And she felt really good. She felt like she touched that future version of herself. And I said, oh, I love that. I love that. And I need to do that more. That's the whole part of the visioning process that I talk about through breathwork. And life in the last year, because of this health journey I've been on, I've done it less. And that's okay, right? Like life can happen sometimes, and it's just so important to be in the present moment. And if you're not someone that is that present, like you're always busy, you're always, planning for something somewhere in the future, you could do with being here right now and regulating your nervous system. So I've been in that season of taking each day as it comes. And in the last 6 weeks, I've started to think about future, think about what life is going to be like after this operation. I would have had it on Tuesday. This podcast drops on Thursday and I'm recording it on Sunday. Oh, that just makes me nervous saying it. But I've been taking myself on future dates. My friend Chellie always says, and she's a stylist, she always says, you have to dress for your future self. Dress as your future self. Especially at work. As you can see, I wear t-shirts all the time. And when I'm teaching breathwork, especially in person, it's super hot. We're usually in a hot, heated room. I'm lifting people's legs up. I'm holding bowls. It's really hot work. You don't get to wear much apart from, your gym kit. I really took on board what my two friends said. And I said, you know what, Daisy, it's time you went on some future dates. If you're going to run a vision challenge, that you really took your vision to the next level. And I understand why you haven't, but now it's time to practice what you preach. I revamped my vision board. And if you followed me for a while, I do love a vision board, but I really, really believe in the frequency of the vision more than the vision board. I think you have to do both. I think you have to do the words and the breathing and the pictures. So all three, actually, to truly make something that you've never had before come alive, or to continue to have something that is big and you're not necessarily the match in energy for it yet. So here is the story. I sat with my journal and I thought, what are some of the things that I've thought about in the last 6 months that I would really like to bring to life in the next year? And one of them was a retreat. And I've always wanted to do a retreat, but actually traveling and helping other people travel and then teaching for a week has felt way too big for my nervous system. And as someone that thinks about their nervous system every day and thinks about what it takes, or not a lot of what it takes, to get me dysregulated, I am really conscious of never picking work things that push me into too much stress. I like stretchy, but I don't want to go into something that is unnecessarily hard. So I've always been like, you know what, I want to do a retreat, but when it's right, it will come up. I teach at a place called Rome in LA, and the owners of that studio live in a retreat space in Costa Rica. And when I was recovering from the first mastectomy operation in December, the first place I went back to teach in person was Rome. And I saw a picture on the wall about Costa Rica, or I saw it on the website, and I just thought to myself, you know what, I could teach there. I know Chad and Jem really well. I feel so safe with them. I've seen other teachers I love teach there. I think I could do that. That doesn't feel scary at all. So as I was planning and sitting there and holding, what is the vision that's coming in? I can feel it, but what does it look like in pictures now? And I was like, okay, it looks like that. It looks like teaching in Costa Rica. And I put it on my vision board and I left it. And then 6 days later, I was on a text thread with the owners to sort out my dates for this year. And we got talking about a retreat. And I said, well, it's so funny you should say that because, funnily enough, the retreat space is up on my vision board. So whenever you guys want to talk about that, I'd love to talk about it. And straight away we got into it. And within 2 weeks, I had it up on sale and we've sold all bar 2 rooms. And it's in February 2027. And I was nervous going in. So you know what I did? I listened to my friend Chellie and I bought a new 2-piece. And this little teaching 2-piece is still me, but it's future me. So it's black because I still like that vibe. But it's Costa Rica proof. So it's a pair of shorts and a crop top. And I thought to myself, well, when I do this, I'll be done with the operations for the whole, mastectomy journey. I will be able to work out more. So I'm going to be feeling better in my skin about showing off my middle bit. And it's going to be too hot in Costa Rica and I'm going to be too busy to not wear things like this. I'm going to be teaching twice a day. And that means I've really got to take my clothes off. But you know what I mean? Like I can't be hiding in my big baggy t-shirts as much as I love them. I'm lifting up people's legs and, doing all this stuff and I'm breathing and moving. It's really heating. So I bought the little outfit. And what's incredible about living in LA is that if you buy something from Aloe, it arrives in 2 hours. So Chellie, thank you. And everybody, if you want to follow the best stylist, she's in the show notes. So I bought this 2-piece and I popped it on and I bought it a size smaller than I feel I am. And when it arrived and I put it on, it was great. Wasn't too small. Didn't feel bad. I was like, okay, my future self's already here. And I've been making a really big deal of this, doing a retreat and putting myself in this outfit. And actually, I was already this person. I was already my future self. Now, that was a big realization. I didn't cry, but I had a nice moment of being like, oh, the problem was me. The problem was me. But then I took the future date one further. I got my mats out. I got outside and I started to visualize my first class in Costa Rica. We know it's happening. So it's not that I'm trying to make something happen that hasn't happened. I'm just trying to tune into the energy of doing something for the first time. This isn't my third retreat. This is my first one. And it's coming, 6 months after the end of a health journey. Or 7 months after. I put on my vision breathwork. I did that first. I got into the zone. I wrote down what I thought my frequencies were. I wrote down a little bit about who I thought I needed to be in the run up to it and who I thought I would be on the other side. And then I sat there and I breathed into the whole vision of it, with the exception of having my dog with me, who sadly won't be able to come to Costa Rica, Magnus. And I just breathed. And this is where the most amazing thing happened. Back in 2018, before I did my 200 hours, but after I did my sound healing, I was still deep in the music industry and I had no intention of leaving. I was very, very, very burnt out though. And I couldn't sleep. I could never sleep. I slept maybe 3 or 4 hours a night. And I was up at 6 a.m. and I decided to go for a run around the reservoir in Silver Lake. I was just hitting pace and it was very quiet. I mean, of course it was at Silver Lake. No one's up at 6 a.m. in Silver Lake. Might still be out from the night before. I was running down let me think about this, the west side of the reservoir. And what was really unusual is I saw someone sitting by the water. And I was like, they're in the private bit, like they're in the keep out bit. Why is there someone sitting there? And I kept running and I was really hitting pace. And I remember thinking, oh my God, I'm really like doing a good pace here. This is way faster than I usually go. And something occurred to me as I got closer. I realized that the person sitting by the water was me. And I get that this sounds weird. They were me. But the thing that was weirder than me having a vision was that I was happy. I was so happy, and I knew that I was teaching. I didn't know if I was teaching yoga. I didn't know if I was teaching the bowls, or I definitely wouldn't have understood breathwork at that stage, by the way. I just knew that I was by the ocean or by water and teaching. I ran the whole way down that west side, and I didn't stop. I kept pace the whole way round the reservoir, being like, what did I just see? And I actually never told anyone about it. I did write a journal entry on it, which I've kept, and I've got a picture of it, and I'll share it sometime soon. And I was just like, wow, that was really weird. I'm not leaving my kudos job. I'm not leaving the music industry. I'm not leaving the passes and the importance that it gives me. But I can't deny I was happier over there. And I have no idea how to get over there. And everything feels so terribly complicated. But I saw that vision again when I was dating my future self, when I was sitting outside on my mat with my dog, visualizing Costa Rica. And I realized that the vision I saw in 2018 is exactly the vision of Costa Rica. And I get chills saying that. Full chills. Thank goodness Monique told me to take a future date. Thank goodness my friend Chellie is always talking about dressing like your future self, because it's such an important moment for me to know that I've come full circle, that vision is coded into this next stage. I will link it into the show notes. When I first started the podcast, I did do an episode about that vision, and it only occurred to me in like 2022 or 2021 that what happened to me when I was running down that reservoir was a spiritual awakening. So if you're interested and if that resonated, that's the episode to go back and listen to. But for now, what I wanted to say is take a little chance, take a little future date, spend some time breathing and visualizing and visioning for your next stage. And what you'll find is that you're already there. You just haven't quite embodied it yet. And I know that I've made it sound a little trivial talking about cute sets from Aloe, but I can't tell you how different and how hard it's been to get here. Even though I had that vision in 2018, we're in 2026 now, and I'm only just about to realize it. And I just wish that someone had shown me breath work back in 2018. But I had a lot of other things that were shown to me. Life wasn't so bad. But if I had known that breathwork could connect me to both my unconscious and my subconscious, and I could then touch timelines, touch on future me, get information and intuition aligned, I would have absolutely done it. So, a little sweet Thursday share for you. I hope that you are opening up to all these things. And I hope that if you want to do this, you come into the community and do our vision challenge. We're doing it now. Take some time to date your future self, whatever that looks like. And don't be scared to let it be frivolous. Like, let it be something you wouldn't do now that you're really excited to do. Walk through the fanciest shop. Go buy the most extravagant croissant. It doesn't need to cost a thing. You can just leave work early and go and have a bath. You can also sit and plan on what your future could look like. Part of my future dating was understanding when I had made enough time and made enough finances that I could do more stuff for charity. Even stuff like making my dog go visit hospitals. I can't wait to do that. I'm in the process of figuring that one out. And I know that that's something that's very close, but there isn't time for me to do it right now. And I'm really excited about that moment in my schedule where there's enough time to show up consistently with my dog to do charity work in hospitals. I couldn't think of anything more brilliant and fun and rewarding, if a little hard as well. Well, I hope you put some time into your diary to date your future self. I know for one that I'm really excited to meet them, and I'm really excited to hear what you do. Tell me all about your future dates in the comments, and tell me about your awakenings. Tell me about anything that resonated in this episode. And most of all, tell me that you're doing okay. It matters to me that you're here. Okay, I'll see you Sunday for another energy update. And I can't wait for that. What a month May is. Bye.